today's lesson, we're going to go over a brand new chord, the C-add-D. And then we're going to take the chord and apply it to some chord progressions used in songs like Sweet Home Alabama by Lynrd Skynyrd and Good Riddance, Time of Your Life by Green Day. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with the C-add-D chord, which is also referred to as the C-add-9. Now, if you remember the 4-finger G chord that we talked about, this one is very similar to that one, except that the first and second fingers are moved down one string each. So instead of having the second finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string and the first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, we're going to have the second finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, first finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and we do not play the 6th string. It's going to sound like that. Now let's try going back and forth between a G chord and a C-add-9, like so. And if you notice, my second finger is touching the 6th string just a little bit, enough to mute it. So that way I don't have to worry about hitting that string. All right, so let's go back to the G, C-add-D, or C-add-9, whichever you want to call it. Back and forth. All right, now what we're going to do is go back and forth between the G and the C-add-D using quarter note strums. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to switch to the C-add-D. 2, 3, 4. Back to the G. 1, 2, 3, 4. C-add-D. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to go from the C-add-D to the D chord. So, if you'll notice, the 3rd finger stays down when you go between both chords. So let's go back and forth between those real quick. C-add-D, take the pinky off, move the 1st and 2nd fingers down for the D form. Go back to the C-add-D by adding the pinky, moving the 1st and 2nd fingers up, like so. And let's try it a few more times before we play some strums. Just back and forth at whatever pace you're comfortable at. All right, now we're going to go from the C-add-D to the D using quarter note strums. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. C-add-D. 2, 3, 4 to the D chord. 2, 3, 4. Back to the C-add-D. 2, 3, 4. And then to the D chord. All right, now we're going to go from the G chord to the C-add-D to the D chord. We're going to use quarter note strums, 2 measures on the G, 1 measure on the C-add-D, and 1 measure on the D before we repeat. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C-add-D. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C-add-D. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we're going to take the C-add-D chord and apply it to 2 different songs. The first one is Green Day's Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. We're going to have the G chord for 2 bars, the C-add-D chord for 1 bar, and the D chord for 1 bar before we repeat. So we're going to use the 1, 2, and 4 and strum pattern. So it'll sound like this. Okay, so now play along with me. We're going to start very slowly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and miss, and 4, switch. 1, 2, and miss, and 4, switch. 1, 2, and miss, and 4, switch. Resolve it to a G chord for this one. Okay, so this final song is Sweet Home Alabama by Lynrd Skynyrd. So we're going to start on the D chord, go to the C, add D, and the G. So 2 beats of the D, 2 beats of the C, add D, 4 beats of the G, but we're going to be using root notes on the downbeat on beat 1 and the and of 1, and also on beat 3 and the and of 3. Okay, so in the first measure, you'll see that we have a D chord. So the root note is the open 4th string, that's a D. So we go 1 and then on beat 2 we strum the D chord. Now when we go to the C add D, the root note for the C add D is the C, so that's the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So we play that twice and then strum on beat 4. And then when we go to the G chord, we have the root, that's a G, so 3rd fret of the 6th string. So we go root, root, strum, root, root, strum. Okay, so it'll be root, root, strum, root, root, strum, root, root, strum, root, root, strum. Okay, so we're going to start very slowly. Play along with me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Root, root, strum, root, root, strum, root, root, strum, root, root, strum. Back to D, C add D, G. All right, nice work today. So hop on over to the Practice Buddy and we'll work on the C add D with the chord progressions for Good Riddance and Sweet Home Alabama. All right, have fun, and I will see you next time.